You don't argue to prove you're right. A Sigma doesn't chase conflict, he redirects it. He doesn't yell, he doesn't scramble, he doesn't perform. He neutralizes chaos with clarity and destroys manipulation with silence. To others, that looks like mystery. To a Sigma, it's just emotional discipline. Today, I'll teach you 9 Sigma conflict steps that turn every argument into territory you control. Not through force, but through structure. This isn't about being intimidating. It's about being immovable. These steps aren't tricks. They're a framework for handling pressure like a man who doesn't break. Stick around until the end to learn the Sigma conflict code. The internal system that makes every argument bend to your pace. Once you understand it, chaos stops feeling like chaos. It becomes a map you already know how to navigate. Why Sigma conflict skills matter. Sigma males move outside the hierarchy. You're not driven by approval or group energy. Your strength isn't borrowed, it's built. And when conflict rises, that inner structure becomes your armor. It protects you from emotional ambushes, guilt traps, and manipulation. Most men break because they rely on loudness to feel strong. They react, they get emotional, they inflate their ego, and then crumble under the weight they created. They don't realize their biggest weakness isn't the argument. It's their own lack of self-regulation. A Sigma doesn't do that. You conserve energy, you stay centered, and you never let their instability drag you off balance. You don't match their fire. You let their fire burn itself out while you stand untouched. Let's begin the 9 steps. Step 1. Control the first moment. A Sigma never reacts instantly. You let the emotional wave hit and fall apart by itself. That pause makes the other person hesitate. They expect a reaction, but you give observation. They expect noise, but you give stillness. You study tone, intention, and weakness before you speak. You analyze the structure of what they're saying, not just the words. Because once you see the structure, you see where it collapses. You choose the angle that neutralizes their emotional advantage. You don't attack, you dismantle. When you control the first moment, you control the direction. Your silence becomes a mirror, and they start arguing against themselves. Step 2. Strip the argument to its core. Most arguments are just noise around a tiny truth. People love adding decoration, exaggeration, and emotional padding. A Sigma goes straight to the dot. You cut away distractions, side topics, emotional bait. You remove every layer until the bare reality stands alone. And reality is simple. It's clean. It's manageable. The moment you expose the core, the other person loses confusion as a tool. They can't hide behind dramatic storytelling. They can't drown you in unnecessary details. Their argument shrinks, and you stand solid while they scramble. Step 3. Detach emotion. Weaponize reason. The more emotional they get, the sharper you become. You don't match their intensity. You refine yours. You don't let anger distort you. You keep your tone cold and controlled. Your stillness becomes authority. That emotional contrast makes them look unprepared, even childish. It exposes the gap between your self-mastery and their self-loss. When they react, they reveal weakness. When you stay centered, you dominate the energy. Most arguments are decided by who breaks first. A Sigma simply doesn't break. Step 4. Ask precise questions. Questions are control. They force the other person to expose their logic or admit they don't have any. Ask, what exactly do you want? What outcome are you looking for? What are you basing that on? Each question removes emotional fog. Each answer forces them toward clarity, a place they don't want to stand if their argument is weak. You shift from defender to evaluator. They shift from attacker to someone being examined. Question by question, you make them responsible for the weight of their own claims. Most can't carry it. Step 5. Reject assumptions immediately. People love projecting motives onto you. It's how they control the narrative. A Sigma refuses it instantly. That's not what I said. Here's what I said. Don't rewrite my intention. Stick to the facts. This isn't defensiveness, it's discipline. You're preventing the argument from mutating into something you never agreed to. You cut misinterpretation at the root. You control the definitions. And when you control definitions, you control the entire argument. This alone disarms manipulators. They can't twist a narrative you refuse to participate in. Step 6. Use silence as leverage. Silence breaks unstable arguments faster than shouting ever could. You speak when it matters. You stay silent when silence exposes them. Your silence becomes pressure, the kind that makes their confidence crack. They start filling the space with extra words, and those extra words reveal everything you need. You win without moving. Silence is a scalpel. You use it to cut through emotional clutter, to reveal truth, to disarm chaos. And when used well, silence becomes one of the most powerful tools a Sigma has. Step 7. Remove personal attacks. When someone attacks you, the argument is no longer about truth. It's about dominance. A Sigma redirects immediately. Stay on the point. We're discussing the issue, not me. If you need to insult me, you've already lost the logic. This exposes their lack of substance. It forces the spotlight back onto the argument itself. They wanted you emotional. You gave them boundaries. Their attack collapses, and the power returns to you. Step 8. Offer the simplest, cleanest solution. A Sigma doesn't argue endlessly. He solves. Here's the direct solution. Here's the clean way forward. This resolves the issue. Everything else is noise. Simple solutions expose motives. If they resist the easy path, they didn't want resolution. They wanted control. When you present a cleaner option, you become the stable center of the conversation. They become the one dragging things out. You show you're not here for drama. You're here to close the loop. Step 9. Withdraw when respect is absent. A Sigma never stays in a disrespectful conversation. You exit quietly, decisively, without drama. Not to avoid the argument, but to protect your self-respect. Walking away isn't weakness, it's sovereignty. You decide where your energy flows, where your attention lands, and who earns your presence. You choose where your energy goes, and where it doesn't. When you walk away from disrespect, you regain the power they tried to take. You don't raise your voice. You don't lose your center. You don't fight in the mud. You use structure, not emotion. Clarity, not chaos. Direction, not noise. When your identity stays intact, when your calmness stays unshaken, you win before the words begin. A Sigma doesn't dominate people. He dominates the moment, and the moment always bends to the man who owns his mind. Conflict doesn't scare him. It exposes him, revealing how unshakable he really is. If you want more Sigma-level clarity, discipline, and mental dominance, subscribe. This channel is for the men who build themselves quietly and lead without asking for permission.